All right, guys, what's up? We are here with Kris for podcast number 10 of Free Pizza. Kris Hilbert. He's awesome. Recording engineer, or how do you want to, what's your title? What were you saying?
Yeah. Engineer, producer. Depends on the record. You know?
Oh, very true, because you have done a lot of things with a lot of different records.
Yeah. It depends. Like, some bands, I press the button, and some bands, I'm, like, more involved. But it just depends.
In here crying, sweating.
Yeah, just like, fuck this part, or whatever.
But yes, hey.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing? We're actually in the studio, and actually it's a special episode because Jacob is actually co-hosting this episode. He's going to ask some questions because he also does that as well on the side. So this is very special, and we're stoked to be here, and thank you. This
awesome.
Is incredible.
It's fun.
But yeah, so let's get this started.
You got your iPad with all your...
Yes, I have.
All your...
I don't want to embarrass myself, so I bring this just to let me know what I'm supposed to say.
That's good. That's smart. That's called being prepared.
Yeah.
I try.
That's no bullshit.
Cool. So, tell us about yourself. Where were you born? Born and raised. What do you do now? Do you own your business? What's up?
I was born in Ohio, but I hate to reveal that because I lived there for like 5 months.
5 months?
Yeah, it was like we moved when I was very little.
Oh, shit.
But I grew up in Raleigh.
Oh,
and
really?
Then I grew up in Raleigh, and I moved to Greensboro about just over 10 years ago to go to college.
What school?
To go to UNCG.
Oh, shit.
I was majoring in sociology. High hopes.
Yeah.
Then you're in class and you're like, oh, criminology's part of this? Oh, there's 3 proto-cops in this class? Fuck. You're like, so then we were having shows and I was recording it, whatever, and
you just like
piddled out, whatever.
He was like,
yeah.
Nah.
Like I was just working and like,
right. How long did that last?
Well, I should have graduated.
Oh, so were you like years
I was in school for like 7 years or something.
What the fuck?
No fucking degree.
Dude.
Just like,
I'm thinking it was like you made it like a semester.
No. I was definitely in school way too fucking long to not get a degree, right?
Dude, that's insane.
But whatever, I mean, I don't really care. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I definitely can't. Foreign language like destroys me. So I need like 3 classes and I would have a degree, but.
Nah,
whatever.
That. You don't need that.
One day.
Maybe you'll go back and
for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you want to.
Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it's just, and then I'm like, no, it's terrible. Why do I want to do that?
I want to do that. Yeah.
Heck no.
But whatever. Yeah. Sometimes I think about it to be fun. Like I should just do a completely different discipline.
Right.
I'm always like architecture. I'll go back for architecture. I'll do that.
Then you've been a podcast again.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Like, yeah, we had Kris like 5 years ago, but he's back. And he has his degree.
Knowing maybe like 8 years ago.
Okay. 8 years, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, Kris decided he was going to go back to school. He just graduated.
Fuck yeah. So, cool. So, we know you own Legit Biz, which is a recording studio and used to be a venue. Yeah, but let's jump back and talk about what piqued your interest in recording.
Everyone has a really slick answer for this. Every other person who records is like, when I was 5, I had a tape recorder and like, whatever. And I mean, I guess I did that. Like, I definitely did that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I like got into it because I think I was too dumb to realize that there was like people who did that.
Right.
Like I think I was just like a teenager in a punk band and was like, fuck, I guess we need to make a record. So I guess we have to record it without thinking like we could go and pay someone to record it.
Right. And so you used it.
So I just got some shit and did it and was terrible. You know what I mean? But
So was that when you're still in Raleigh?
Yeah. I made my first records in like my bedroom of my parents' house.
No.
Drum set is next to my bed. Yeah. This is the modern era.
This
this
is how
every
punk rock dream. Yeah,
that's true.
That's how
though.
everyone. But that's like how it is now because recording technology is such that like, man, I was just watching a thing about like a hip hop dude who he's in a fucking amazing studio. And he records everything on his phone. He uses GarageBand on his phone to like do his shit together, and he stems it out and puts it onto the fucking computer.
Holy shit!
And I was being like, that's crazy.
That is cool.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, why not though? I mean, it's at your fingertips. It's right there.
Yeah.
So, and the quality is probably
the
not
same
bad
way
at
we
all.
were just talking about on the way here, like how, like he was fucking around with his phone. He was like, "Wow, I'm taking such good pictures with my phone. I don't even need a camera anymore." It's almost like the same application.
Technology
exactly.
is.
It's just like
booming.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think I just recorded that way because I think I just did that because it was like that's what we had to do and whatever. And then I recorded like some other like our friends like this punk band or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And then I stopped for a long time. When I went to college, I sold all my shit because I was just like, whatever. And I was playing in bands, and I, like, at that point, I was like, I understood that was just like a thing. I was like, oh, you just pay somebody. Like, if we ever need to record, we'll go somewhere.
Yeah, just pay someone.
And then, like, I moved into a house with some people, and it was like a 9-bedroom house. And so there's so, like, we all had to move, and it was like, we found this cool house, but there was so many bedrooms. It was like we had to figure out, like, what
to do with all the.
So I rented 2 rooms. My girlfriend and I shared a room. Brittany and I shared a room, and then I rented 2 rooms to have like a recording room and a other room.
Right.
Because I was playing in a band, and like, so I did some demos in there and some other shit, and then
right,
whatever. That was it, and I was like done. And
like,
then
cool.
now it's crazy.
Like, this
now
is
I just
it.
have all my shit. That's all I do.
Damn. So you started like in some extra room, and
Little
that's
out of
perfect.
bedroom.
Like
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I mean, that's like,
bedroom.
I feel like that's the story now.
Yeah.
You hear old producers and they're like, oh, I interned at this place. I was a runner here. I did whatever. But because that like commercial studio thing is so few and far between nowadays, it's like everyone is like, yeah, I just recorded by myself, like on my little thing. Like I was recording on a whatever. It's just changed from being like, yeah, I had a 4-track and then I had an 8-track. And then I had
right,
a whatever,
exactly.
to being like, oh yeah, I had like a laptop and then I had like
this
thing and then I had like a room in my house and then, you know.
Right.
It's just just different era or whatever.
Dude, that's so cool. That's why that's cool that you said that because
I didn't go to school or anything. It's like just
right.
All
that's all
self-taught.
I did. Yeah,
you hear
all
the intern
self-taught,
thing. Yeah, it's weird when
I would love
get
to do that.
people
Don't get me wrong.
to go to school
No, to intern.
to intern. Okay,
I would
really?
love that. That's like I have done like not intern, but I have friends or whatever who are like make records for a living too, and
Right.
I love sitting and watching.
Just going
them.
and watching them.
Because you pretty much go like, oh, you have a lot of like, oh, that's what I do. Okay, that makes sense. Like I'm not a total idiot. And then you have moments where you're like, oh,
It's like
that's what that fucking thing is.
That's what that does.
You're
Holy
like,
shit.
that's really smart.
Oh, that's that
okay.
button.
It's like, why haven't I been doing that?
Like why? Yeah, like you're like stuff. You're like, duh, right? But
Right.
yeah.
That's dope.
I
That's cool.
envy people who like, oh yeah, I came up. I like worked for this person for 5 years, and then
Then
now
I
I
went
just
on
make
my own.
records.
Right.
Because I'm like, damn, they didn't really. I don't know. Like I don't know how much they had to play around or be like.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know?
It's good that you had the years of you taught yourself because you had a lot more time to like fuck around.
Oh yeah, I mean,
more
you,
experimental kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's like the cliches of like creative things. It's like, don't be afraid to fail, and you're like, well, failure's like fucking inevitable, right? Because you don't know
Right.
what you're doing.
It's gonna happen.
So like,
It's definitely.
yeah,
gonna
I mean,
happen.
it's like it's funny to be like, people are like, yeah, well, like no shit, right?
Yeah, like duh.
You know, yeah, like we're all gonna fail because we suck. You know, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's how that thing works, and then you like learn a little bit of like, oh, okay, and then a lot of times you still go through like, you're like, oh, I suck, you know,
Right.
and then you learn like, you know,
As you go.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's part of the process,
Yeah,
right?
that's cool. I mean, I guess self criticism is, it's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, but that's also how you get better, right?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
that's the thing.
It's a good thing. It's not a bad
Yeah,
thing at
when
all.
if you sucked and you were like, that shit's amazing, what
Yeah, it's
happens next?
I don't think anyone hardly says that. But I'm just like, man, that
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
is
yeah.
like that's the best shit I've ever done. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, this shit is
Then-
terrible.
Yeah, then you'd be that studio that nobody goes to. 'cause
Yeah,
you
you're
suck,
like,
yeah.
you're like, man, everything sounds amazing. I don't know why no one comes here anymore. Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. Like when I think back about how fucking I didn't know shit. Like my fucking bedroom recording, it was like I was using like a Line 6 pod. Like I thought that's how you recorded guitars. Like
Oh,
I didn't
shit.
understand. Like I was like, yeah, that sounds fine. I guess I don't know. Like and then
This
it's like,
sounds-
oh, you put a microphone on a guitar cabinet. Like stuff that is so dumb that like you don't, that like. If I saw someone doing now, I'd just be like, how do they think that's how that works?
Like, what are you
I just
doing?
did, I was like 12 or whatever.
Right.
I didn't,
But back then
I was
it's like,
fucking playing guitar. I didn't
fuck
know.
yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know any better, But yeah, I don't know.
That's cool,
So
though.
that's like now the studio became a real studio a few years ago, like
Right.
I quit having a normal job however many years ago.
What job was that?
Dude, I never had like
Like
a normal gig.
Okay.
Like I worked at a furniture store and I worked at like a weird call center where you, like,
regulation?
oh yeah, I worked at Red with everyone.
Okay.
It was like the best. It was the spot, dude. All our friends worked there. There was like I think we counted when there was like 12 of us worked at this.
Oh my
My
god.
God.
But it was so sick, and then it got less sick, so now we don't work there anymore.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I obviously like have my gig, but it was like, you know, there was like the peak of like everyone worked the same place.
It's a sick, hell yeah, everyone.
I think a lot of friend groups have that thing, like, oh, we all worked at the whatever.
Yep.
That was where it was like a furniture place. It was cool. And I worked at a weird call center where we we sold
calls.
like, we were like the 1-800 number on the back of like chainsaws and shit.
Really?
So like you bought a chainsaw and it was like, is this thing fucked up? Call 1-800 whatever.
Call Chris.
Yeah, and we'd be like, hello, and they'd be like, my chainsaw doesn't work, and you'd be like, did you put gas in it? And they go, oh shit. And I mean, that was Kyle and I worked there actually. Kyle, that was like
Really, Kyle?
we worked there with my friend Victor. Victor got us this job, and we were on this kick where we learned that we had heard through Victor that it was like it's the shit because you work 8 months and then in the fall they cut you, and you get unemployment. And
Are you
like,
serious?
Yeah, and you like get unemployment through the winter, and then you're like good. And they hire you again in the spring, and you work because it's just for like lawn and garden equipment.
So it's also
yes,
shit.
it's
We lasted
seasonal
like
probably.
not even 2 months. We're like, fuck this, we can't stand it.
Can't even hold out.
Sitting at a desk all day. He's like, did you put gas in your lawnmower? You know, like it was painful. But that was my last like, I think that and Red Collection were my last like real jobs.
Right.
You know, like before I was able to quit.
Dude, that's fucking cool.
I mean, it was cool, I guess. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah.
It's a good
cool.
story.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely.
It was just weird.
And that's what you did in between like college and basically where you're at now.
And recording.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you do
exactly,
like all three of those.
I was doing a lot at once because when we were doing shows here,
Right.
it was like I would go to class in the morning, and then I would like come here at 4 or whatever and be here until 1 or whatever the show was over. And then like once I was kind of like, you know, I like when you get later in college, you learn like, oh, I go to class like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I was like working and
working more and then being here, and then you were here pretty much all the time.
It was just like
you recording
when this was the upstairs.
Exactly, it was upstairs. It was
legit. Pretty different. Yeah.
That was that's so wild.
Yeah, it's been a few years from that.
What about the parents? How were they when you were doing all this? Like,
they're super supportive. My parents, you know, I think a lot of people say that. My parents weren't like my mom played cello. My dad was like kind of played guitar. And
so they were musically inclined.
They were musically inclined, but I think they didn't like do it long term.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they were always cool about it. Like they were pretty straight.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were sweet. They're the most supportive. They're like, you know,
that's badass.
super supportive. My dad was like corporate America guy.
Okay.
You know, he was the best. He wasn't like, you know, but that he was very like, he just had like a very normal job.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, but it was funny. He always said like, he was always like, yeah, you know, I met this guy. He's like, I was talking to some guy who I worked with who was like, you know, he's like, oh, my son, this college thing and all these like accolades. He's like, oh yeah, my son records rock bands. He thought that was like the shit. He like thought that was the coolest.
Dude, I would too.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, I think that's like, you know.
Like, that would be cool to say.
My parents were like, I couldn't have done any of this shit without them. They were like the most supportive. They think it's cool. My mom is like, loves it. You know, like she thinks it's awesome.
That's so. I mean,
so
mom,
yeah, she's yeah.
Have they been down here? Oh, obviously they've been here before.
Yeah. My mom comes all the time. She's like, she lives in Raleigh, so it's like
it's like right down the street.
She comes or whatever. Yeah.
Like, want to come down and see little Chris record some bands?
Yeah. She's so fun. She like, you know, she thinks it's awesome. You know.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So like, I guess obviously I'll throw out the even UNCG times.
Yeah.
They were there and stuff. So that's awesome. So it's always weird how the parents are. We never know because sometimes they're all creative and sometimes they have nothing to do with it. But
yeah, I have a theory that like when you hear like when you meet some like I'm envious of like the kids who grew up like, oh, my parents are artists or whatever, you know.
Right.
Like not like mine weren't per se. I mean, they weren't. They weren't like in the traditional sense artists, you know.
Right.
Like in a professional format.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
you know, I have a lot of friends who that's how it is, and like when you see like those fucking old Renaissance painters, some shit. It's like this is so and so. Their father was so and so, and their mother was so and so, and they were this
like,
thing, and you're like, no shit, like that's why they're
it's like no
yeah,
wonder
like
they're
an
so
entire
good.
family lineage of awesome.
Yeah, and that like they literally never had. If they ever had a question, someone was like, oh well,
like,
you know, like they're gaining on 30 years or 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 years of fucking doing it. Whatever, you know.
So it kind of makes sense that person's doing that, but you know, feels like it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like that's really different from what his parents are doing.
Yeah,
and that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's like there's every example.
Yeah.
Then you have like Lars Ulrich, who's like dad is way cooler than he is. You know.
That's not hard.
Yeah, I mean I know, but I always make this joke because it's like Lars's dad was like a He was like a tennis star,
I didn't
and then
even
he
know
was
that.
like an artist, and he was like a cultural purveyor.
It's fucking everything.
And then Lars is just like
Lars.
fucking Napster.
He'll never live that down.
Nope.
I know.
Oh man.
You almost feel bad for him, but
So like when like obviously you said fuck school, your parents were like, hell yeah.
yeah, I had to promise him I'd go back,
Oh.
but like not. I mean,
You had to tell him that you were gonna go
yeah,
back.
I mean they're like you're gonna go back, right? I was like, yeah, I'll probably go back. It was
Yeah,
it was
sure,
literally that simple.
Okay. So
It's not like they're like, when are you gonna finish? It doesn't,
So you're gonna go back. So Chris
Yeah,
is
I told them I'd go back, and they were like, it felt like a formality,
yeah.
but like that's fine,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll go back or I won't or whatever.
Well, if you're listening to this, Chris's parents, he's
Yeah,
He's
Hey, Mom.
either way, he's doing well.
my mom will probably listen to it, and she'll text me and be like, "That was so sweet and fun."
Yes. Shout out to Chris's mom.
Dude, yeah,
Shout out, Mom.
hell yeah. Hey, Mom. my mom she buys records all the time. She'll be like, I bought every variation of this hardcore 7-inch in every color, and I'm like, thank you. I mean, it's awesome. I just like, she's so supportive
Do
and
you
sweet.
listen to him?
Well, or like it's just more. She's just like stoked for me, so she buys
what you
$40 worth of records.
That's like
And
awesome.
then just
Her
stood around the
friends
house
come
like,
over.
I got these records.
It's like her friends come over and she's like, "Yeah, my son recorded this band. This is Advent,
Yeah.
and this is
The
right
one that
stairs
really
right
blew
here."
my mind was she bought every color variant of the first Gut Feeling 7-inch. Because there were like 3 or 4.
Oh shit!
And they had a package, and she was just like, I bought it. I just did that. And I was like,
Got
I
the
just-
package.
I love
too.
that there's just some fucking collector record kid out there who's like, I don't have the fucking green or whatever.
And your
And
mom's
my mom's
like,
fucking got it just sitting in the guest room in a box, probably.
not even opened up. He's like, "Can I have
She's
that?"
the
It's
best.
like,
She
"No,
just
it's my
does. I
son
love
did
it.
this."
She loves it. She does it all the time.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Shout
so-
out record collector Mom.
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, who knows how many?
Yeah.
But she's got a bunch, I think. I don't even know.
That's
go to-
fucking
Like, if I
awesome.
share it on
That's
Facebook,
so-
she'll, like, if I put it on Facebook, if I share it from, like, the studio's
Like I
page,
did this.
she'll see it and she'll buy it. Like, I've had friends be like, I got an order from Connie Hilbert for 4 records
It's like,
or whatever. And I'm like,
Mom-
oh, yeah, my mom.
It's my
She
mom,
bought
yeah.
your record.
Shout out Connie.
You sold 2 records or
You
whatever.
just sold them, like this like that. It's just like no matter how this, just like that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can just tell the
it's-
bands that come in here, hey, guaranteed my mom's gonna
Yeah,
buy
I
a
guarantee
couple.
you'll sell 1 record.
You're gonna sell
Yeah.
at least one after
And
we
if you
record
sell
this.
color variants, she'll buy all of them.
all of them,
Yeah.
every single one.
Yeah, it's pretty,
Oh,
I love it. It's like,
That's
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, do you have any? I guess throughout your early years, to even now, do you have any like big inspirations as far as other recording artists or recording engineers, or even someone who's not even recording? Anyone that inspires you from your day-to-day work life?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's always like, I always love some shit. Like everybody, like you love some shit for a while.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I love like this person's doing some rad stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever, always on a kick.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess one person I always think of, I have a poster. I have that Holy Mountain poster. It's kind of like, I know it's a little like entry level weird psychedelia, but Alejandro Jodorowsky, who did all that stuff in the 60s and 70s, it was like, he made his first movie that everybody loved, El Topo, when he was like 45. So that's something I think is kind of cool, especially in like, because in music it's so like being young is the thing. You know what I mean? It's like totally the like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, you're like, I know people who had to like lie about how old they were so they get a record deal, like stupid shit. Where you're
Right.
like, why does that matter? I love that it, this thing that he blew up and he's,
Yeah.
it was like, I always get the Beatle wrong. Like one of them. I want to say it was George Harrison because I like him the most, but I think it was like John Lennon or somebody. They were like, "You're the shit. Here's a bunch of money. Make another one." It was
Right.
like, but his first one, he just been like toiling in like local theater, like doing theater stuff, like writing plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And he made this movie and he started it and whatever, but he was 45. So I love that.
Yeah.
So I just love that. I love shit that's just like sort of, it's like unconventional kind of,
Yeah.
like when you like no one knows anything he did when he was 20.
That's so crazy.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You would think that's
You know?
like the
'Cause then
prime time to know
it's-
something.
It's the fucking opposite of David Bowie, where you're like, wait, he had how many records done when he was 22?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
you're
That's
like,
what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Awesome. That's impressive. And then you're just like, holy shit, I am slow. or whatever.
Oh my god,
You're
yeah.
like, how?
Anytime you compare yourself, you're like, oh yeah, this pop stars, like just made a platinum record, blah blah blah. They're how old?
Yeah.
I'm 3 years older than them. Oh shit.
yeah,
That's when you're like, oh, it really sets in.
So that's why you got to have
damn it.
Jodorowsky there to be like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm good. I got tons of time.
Oh yeah. No.
Tons of time to just fuck off.
Yeah.
And
Oh
not
yeah.
do anything.
I got a decade at least.
Yeah. Bad advice.
So we got into the like the people like maybe that you look up to or whatever.
Yeah.
Specifically with studios, that's why I'm
Yeah,
co-hosting.
Oh,
Is I'm a fucking gear nerd as well.
Yeah.
He is.
So
Absolutely.
obviously, when we walked in, you showed us your new console.
Yeah.
This question's
Timing.
more aligned like with the studio life. I think like especially if you care about your passion, it's like you're constantly buying gear, you're constantly upgrading, updating. You're just dumping all your money back into it, pretty much.
Yeah.
What made you start doing that? Like, what would you say as far as like the creative process? What made you get invested in like all of this gear?
I don't know. Let me think. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of how I started. I think I just like, I guess I just was like, that shit sucks and this is good or whatever. You know, I think like I was a guitarist, so I think I always had like, I was like, whoa, this amp sounds better. Like, why does this amp sound so good compared to this shitty one?
What I have,
you know?
yeah.
And I think you just kind of translate.
Mhm.
That just like translates into everything.
And
And like as you start hearing
As
things,
to why I
But I
don't
say, yeah.
own a nice car. Because if I started,
that
I'd
is
be fucked up. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
that's true. Because like,
I'm
man,
just
it's
like, oh, I got my van for the band. That's like I have my van.
Yep.
You know.
that's all you need.
But if I think about like, oh, I should buy a cool car, and then you're like, oh,
Like, damn, with that car.
$30,000 later, you're like, I have this car. You know, it just sucks. Like, you know,
It's very true.
yeah, you know,
Embarrassing.
and you can't even hook me up, dude. You can't even hook me up anymore.
Come on, dude. Don't bring my other job into this.
Dude, yeah, let's bring it up. Let's call him out.
bring it up. Just embarrassing. Daniel used to work at Car. What was it called? CarMax.
No, he still works at
work
CarMax.
there.
Oh, Daniel works at CarMax.
Actually, he just got off at 5 like a couple hours
That's what's
ago.
up, dude.
Yeah, he's got that 8 to 5
If you
grind
ever
too.
get a 1969 El Camino in,
Yeah, that's not gonna. Well, actually, that's
Call
not true.
Chris, man.
That could
Call
could
Chris.
actually happen.
Every now
call
and
me,
then.
dude.
Call
Then
Chris.
I can find another pit to just throw money into. No, in all honesty, the gear thing is funny because I definitely know that I have expensive taste.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But however, I don't really give two shits about gear. It's a weird thing where that's a thing when people are starting recording, you read fucking forums and they're like, the best people, they don't give a shit and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, but that's because they have that shit.
They have
Yeah.
it.
You know what I mean? And I understand that like sentiment, but the more I make records, the more I really am like, I mean, it matters.
Mhm.
Like there's like a level at which like this thing just is distortion and like sucks and whatever. But like that is not my vibe. I just don't like, there's a lot of shit in here, but I use like very little when I'm
of
really
it.
working.
Yeah.
You know, like I just, most of it, I don't buy shit that doesn't do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I usually buy stuff for like, okay, I like these last 3 records I've been recording whatever,
Mhm.
and I ran into this problem and I need to solve that. So I get the thing that solves that,
Mhm.
you know, or like this thing sounds good or whatever, you know, or I use a thing and I'm like, whoa, that did this really special thing I liked that I couldn't do with anything else, and so that's why I get it, you know.
Right.
That's really more my thing, but I like it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just natural, I think.
Yeah,
Especially
you're-
when you own your own place.
Yeah, especially
you're-
with like
Yeah, I
upgrading
think that's
all the
like
time.
part of it is like I don't have a choice. I kind of have to get shit because like shit breaks, or like I was recording that band Vacation State that they had 2 drummers,
Mhm.
and I was like, well shit, I don't have, like I have stuff to make it work. I had to borrow stuff from a friend,
Oh,
and
shit.
like I had to buy like more mic stands and all this stuff. I was like, this is, you know, I had to mic 2 drum sets. I had to have twice the shit
as many.
that I
Yeah.
normally have.
Things.
You know.
which is something not everybody does, obviously.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
had
I
to
mean-
kind of adapt to make it work or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of, it's like kind of, you know, like don't fix shit that ain't broke. You
Mhm.
know, like
Mhm.
I am constantly looking at gear, but not because I'm like, oh, what's the next thing? It's more like I'm always looking because that's how you find good deals
Right.
or use
Yeah.
stuff or whatever. I have my list of like, I really want this thing, and like I wait until it comes up and I get it or whatever. You know.
Or like if you ever find a certain thing for a certain price, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll buy it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like
that's-
you follow certain companies and you're like, oh, I'm waiting for the next product kind
and
of
I'm
thing.
not like a new gear guy really. Like
Yeah.
I mean there's always like there's companies that make awesome stuff and like new stuff that's cool, but I'm not like Like when new shit comes out, I'm usually just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Was there a records last year sucked, and now they're gonna be awesome because this
This
thing
new
does
gear
X, Y,
came
Z
out.
or whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Dude,
So I don't
that's a perfect way to think. I think the exact same way.
I know.
I think everyone in every industry, like you kind of go into it's like, I need the best gear ever. Like, dude, gear changes all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really just you know?
And the gear thing too. I mean, gear's fucking cool. I mean, you
Yeah,
like
of
recording
course.
stuff's
Yeah.
cool. Like microphones are cool. Like, and I don't even have that much old stuff, but that's like, the stuff that I do have, it's like on purpose. You know, I have like I mean, this is just a guitar amp, but like I bought this old Hiwatt, this like a 74 Hiwatt or 75 or something, you know, whatever. And it was a thing where like I bought it and I was like, I bought it because I was playing in 2 bands and I needed an amp. I wanted an amp I could use in both bands. And so I bought that because I thought that would work. And I just am like, I don't need any of my other guitar amps anymore. You know, like, I mean, I obviously have to have them
Yeah.
because, you know, I need them for like other options and whatever, but I just have like, it makes it on, I would be, it would be hard for me to find a record it's not on,
Okay.
you know? But I'm just I'm like, there's still amps that are like, this new fucking guitar amp's got this and this and this. And I'm like, 1974, it was perfect. And like, what?
Are you
what the
reinventing
hell?
the wheel?
Yeah, I just wonder, like, why? Like, you know, I always joke about, like, companies, like, why? You're the same, this company, like Marshall, you're like, you still exist. You made amps in 1960 that were perfect, and, like, they still remake them.
Right.
Some of them they do. They've been
course,
better
yeah.
about that now. But it was like 10 years ago, you were like, I don't need an amp with 5 channels and 4 modes per channel. And, like, it's too much shit. I can't, like, keep track of that.
Right.
I don't know. It's too much. So, yeah, that's the... No.
Gist of it.
No. Yeah, I'm good without that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think the oldest usually
Well,
always
yeah.
better than new anyways.
Yeah, like these compressors, they got 4 knobs, and they're better. And then there's a bunch that got like 50 knobs, and are they better? Some of them are. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
you know, I kind of like, I'm definitely a like keep it simple, stupid person.
Hell
Yeah.
Which, you know,
Fuck
like
yeah.
that's definitely my vibe. I'm
I've
getting
had-
stressed out thinking about lots of things. You know, being like, oh, a thing that's got a lot of shit on it. I'm like, oh no, I don't want that.
That's just more shit for it
Yeah,
to break.
that.
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
is, ugh.
And
Mm,
I just find like, I don't know, whatever.
that just
I
looks
could go on.
ridiculous.
Some people, you know, in 10 years I might think differently.
Yeah, you might
5 years I might think differently.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I might go, oh,
I want some knobs.
or whatever. But
I need more knobs.
yeah, I need more shit. But you know, and I'm sure there's people who that's like they get into that whole aspect of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I get into like, I mean, if a singer isn't good, you're not 5, 6, 7 knobs is not going to magically make
You
some
better.
you know. And if a singer's
Very
good, then 7 knobs is cool. But like maybe it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah.
Or 30 knobs, I guess. 7 isn't that many. Like, you know, some shit.
I
you
mean,
got
yeah, compared to some shit, yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, that's people always like, you know, clients are like, you really know what I know those fucking knobs do or whatever. You know, like on the console, I'm like, well, it's the same thing 32 times, so yes.
that's me. I'm just like, what the
I'm like, it's
fuck?
just the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
You know, so it's yes, of course. If it was that many, I would say no. I'd be
Right.
like, no fucking way. But yeah,
Well, fuck yeah.
Yeah, if
Makes
they're all
sense.
different, it would be a completely different story.
yeah. I'm always impressed by like people with crazy modular synth setups and shit. I'm just like, dude, I know, I even kind of understand, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, what the fuck?
Like, why do you have this?
Oh, I mean, yeah, personally, like we were at Moogfest this weekend, and
Oh
we
my
went into
God.
the actual shop, and we're just walking around, and I was gonna have a heart attack
Like,
just
what is
looking
like
at all the inputs.
they have like the modular place. I didn't go this year, but last year they had
Right.
like the modular, like the section where it's like, did you go last year?
Yeah, you go to the body.
Yeah.
The body plate last year.
Yeah, dude. Ben Frost, dude.
I definitely missed.
So good.
Yeah, I missed that set.
Son.
I fucked up, dude.
Wait, who did you see during Ben Frost?
What time did he play? You remember?
I don't know. I'm selling myself out that it was during Sun. I made a choice.
I was-
sorry.
I was at
Friends.
Sun. I was at the venue beside it.
Yeah, it was
and
during that.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I was then.
Yeah.
Because it was so loud. Obviously, it's freaking Sun.
Ben
But
Frost was fucking loud too. It was so great. But I went to see Daniel Lanois because speaking of inspiration, he's like I
Okay.
dig his stuff. Yeah.
okay.
His music is awesome. I dig his vibe and his whole thing.
Who was
Tons of
that?
records.
Okay.
Daniel Lanois. He was a record producer who did like
Joshua
record-
Tree.
he did Joshua Tree. Yeah.
I know
Like
that
stuff
guy
with
very well. He
U2,
does the
whatever.
pedal steel.
Yeah, pedal steel,
that guy.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I hesitate to let people know about because then they know I'm just stealing. You know, they just know I'm just jocking his shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Cut this part of the podcast out.
Well,
No one knows that I'm just jocking this guy's shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
we're not cutting shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
Chris.
I'm kidding, obviously.
That's
No,
cool,
yeah,
though. That's awesome.
He did a bunch of, he did like lots of the early stuff with Brian Eno that I think is
Yeah.
awesome. You know, he was like, you know, when you get into like who found this delay rack unit first, Daniel Lanois, The Edge, or Brian Eno. It's like there's no way to know because they all just showed each other or whatever, you know. So that's like, you listen to some of those records, you're like, oh, those all kind of sound the same because they were just all giving each other like, oh, dude, I got this shit. Oh, I'm gonna get one of those. You know, like,
Yeah.
that was the truth. I mean, there's more too.
Yeah, so, I mean, speaking
Harold
of
Bud
that,
and
like
all
that
those other-
goes into another question. Like, do you ever feel like you kind of run into like either amps or some kind of like recording like trick or something that you have friends that you show, and like you guys kind of just go back and forth?
I mean, yeah, all the time. Yeah, I what it usually is usually you run into some shit, you like solve a problem, and then you're like, yo, I did this weird thing, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I do it like this, and it's like just 2 degrees different.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, all the time, all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time. There's like stuff where I'm like, oh, I did this. Like I don't know. Like I just posted a picture on Instagram of like that double drum setup, and someone commented. This dude commented and just goes like, that's exactly how I did it when I did it.
Oh,
When I
shit.
record double drums, and you know.
It's like, you just
Like,
kinda-
You're just kind of winging it.
Right.
Yeah,
Say,
I
like,
just
you were
did
right,
like
we-
what made sense to me, you
Yeah.
know? And then like, you know, and then someone was like, "Oh, that's how I did it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, like that makes sense."
Yeah.
You know? But I definitely glean more from other people than anyone gleans from me. There's no way, you know.
Yeah.
It's like me.
There's,
I'm
you know,
the same
I'm like
shit.
watching over here. I'm like, "Oh, shit. Okay, that's what you. That's like
that's what you're doing.
that's
Sweet.
smart." You know?
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Makes
you
sense.
know,
That's cool. though.
most of my shit I can like a lot of the stuff that I think of that it's like that's how I do that. There's moments where I'm like, I know exactly who I learned that from.
Like who and when you learned
Yeah,
that,
like
or
I
heard
know
that
exactly
from.
when I learned it and who I learned it from. You know?
Well, that's actually, yeah, that goes into another question as well. I was going to
Chris?
ask specifically,
I did that on
um,
purpose.
yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah,
just,
I just
reading
read
mine.
my
Yeah.
lines, you know?
This might be harder, especially because I know you record like a lot of different shit and
Yeah.
a lot of different genres and stuff. What experience or experiences, like plural, would you say kind of shaped your sound as far as like the way you approach recording? Are there any like specific times where somebody was teaching you something or you were fucking around and just stumbled upon something?
No, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't think that I really have a sound.
Mhm.
I really don't think that. Like, I do so many different bands, and like it varies so much. Like, I really don't think that I'm in any way like, go to Chris, you get that thing, you know.
You get
But-
that.
Like you're that specific studio people seek out for a certain
like
sound.
that
Yeah.
sound or whatever. I think like, but I think that's also like that shit gets attributed all the time too. You know, Steve Albini's a guy who's like everyone's like that sound, and he obviously works on records where like you hear that he did it, you know,
Mhm.
but then there's somewhere like, yo, he did that, and you're like, really? Like I think like Joanna Newsom records sound amazing
Fuck
that he did. You know what I
yes.
mean? Or like he did a fucking Leftover Crack record that like doesn't sound like Shellac or whoever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like and it doesn't sound, you know. So I don't know. I don't think that I really have that, but there's definitely stuff that I do. Like I'm a big room mic guy, and that was literally one of my buddies was like, "You got to get this shit, this mic. This is what I use." And I was like, "Okay," and I just bought one. It was
Yeah.
just, you know, that's just what he's like,
Yeah.
"I like it," and I was like, "It's literally that simple."
Yeah.
And we use it so differently.
Really?
Like he and I use the same thing so differently. I mean, we both use it as a room mic, but it's so different. And I just know how he uses it, and I use it differently than him. But that's cool. That's like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
there's-
awesome.
there's no
you know,
problem
like
with
I just
that.
learned,
Badass.
but like without, there's like some things that I tried that were just like, that's a thing I do all the time, that I do on every record, almost no matter what. But most of that's like, it's hard to pin down is like a moment or
Mhm.
whatever. But yeah, I don't know. There's like some stuff I just was like, I hit as like, I'm a big room mic person,
Mhm.
and I know that that's like a weird thing for, I do a lot of like, I do a lot of different stuff, but there's, you know, in fast and heavy music, that's like I think people like to say they use that shit a lot because it's like cool, you know.
But it's
recording
also
it-
kind of like a faux pas, especially in heavier music. Everybody
Yeah.
wants like crisp, clear,
They want
close
that
mics,
shit-
everything
yeah,
right in
like,
your face.
their
Yeah.
Straight
fucking
up,
face, right?
yeah.
And like, I think that there's like a movement sort of against that in some aspect.
Mhm.
There's like, you know, there's people who it's not always like that, but I think like in the modern era, there's like people who are trying to retain some level of like reality or whatever
Yeah.
in those recordings, you know.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Coyote, how dare you?
Yeah, it's the dog's
Shout out
fault.
to Coyote. He's holding
Coyote's
down the
sleeping on the
fort.
couch.
Coyote's
he's awake now.
here.
A phone fell, but
Sorry.
he's here, dude.
I want to jump back because I thought of this when Jacob was asking his questions. So when you what was the first band that when you were full time here? What was your first big paying band?
Big paying.
I guess. Well, yeah.
Ooh,
Your first
never have I been big paying.
well, your first your first job, I guess.
I think the biggest shit my pants moment was not shit my pants moment, but just moment of oh, this is a real thing and I've got to deliver, was a band called Centuries that I did that was on
Fuck
Southern
yeah.
Lord. And it was a thing where what happened is I'd done some stuff with my buddies in Torture and they had just signed with Southern Lord.
Okay.
And we knew we were doing a record and I was like, oh, that's going to be a big thing. That's going to be a record.
Huge.
I got to make sure it sounds good, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And before they had written and done all that shit, Centuries was like, hey, we're this band. I'd met them years before that, years prior. They played in Greensboro and I met them.
Right.
And they were like, hey, we like the stuff you've done. We want to come record. We just signed with Southern Lord, so we have a record. And I was like, oh,
I was like, oh shit.
this has got to be actually good. You know? I always wanted shit to be good, but I was like, it was just another amount of outside pressure. But
Right.
the thing about it, it's that and I've gone on to do a handful of records for Torture and Centuries, and Southern Lord is always awesome. Greg's the best.
Hell yeah.
Sorry I missed Sun because I was watching Ben Frost. But no, it's
fucked up.
yeah,
That's
my bad.
fucked up.
No. It's they're I totally thought it was a big deal, and it was obviously.
it is.
It was,
It
you
was,
know.
yeah.
But Greg is a legit purveyor of just music that he digs. You know,
That's badass.
no label, fucking bullshit. Oh, this record is dark or whatever. I don't fucking. I just
Never really.
You know, I fuck with Southern Lord. I've heard.
Yeah,
all the
they're
things about that.
they're so sweet. So that was probably the big thing. But I've done it there every once in a while. It always there's a moment where all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have to do that. Okay,
It's oh yeah.
that's the thing.
Let's
We
do
got to
some
do it
shit.
good.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I always feel that way because I always feel I put that pressure on myself, that a record has to sound good.
Yeah.
But then when there's that other thing of oh shit, the stakes are raised or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know?
You get that I don't know if I've heard you talking about this. I think Abby was in here, but when you also helped produce the BT Bam.
Oh well, I didn't do anything on their actual records.
Okay.
This
Oh,
is a
okay.
common misconception.
My bad.
That was the live DVD thing.
Yeah, I did. That was a legit shit your pants moment too.
Oh shit.
But they were my friends. It was
Yeah.
I mean, it was a real thing, but this is the story. Is they did this live in the studio DVD at the Fidelatorium in Kernersville, which they were playing their record live, whatever. But we were supposed to do the first day was supposed to be the band tracking live, and Jamie King, who's done all their records and produced all their records, was going to be there to do the band, right? And he's done all our records and he worked in the studio before and whatever. And then the next day, the second day was we're doing all the auxiliary instruments,
Right.
marimba and saxophone and all this other stuff that's on there, string quartet and stuff.
Right.
And Tommy got sick or something, and so he couldn't do the first day. So then it was just oh well, we got all these fucking people confirmed, and it was and Jamie's oh, I can't be there. So it was the
shoot.
first day we walked in was Blake had the session. He's here's the session, and I load it, and it's all day nonstop in a studio I've never worked in before.
Oh god.
That's a shit your pants moment. Yeah.
Yeah, record the saxophone, record this flute, record this thing, and it's got to be good. And it's instruments that I can figure out how to record most stuff.
Of
It's
course.
not you kind of you have skills that are universally applicable or whatever. But I got to record a string quartet who walked in the studio having obviously never fucking looked at this shit. They were oh, we're doing strings for some rock band,
Oh
They
god. They
had no
had
idea.
no
They
idea
were
what they were.
There was a moment where one of the people literally said, "Who wrote this?" We're all sitting in the control room 2 hours into string quartet, not getting these this crazy hard shit, and one of them just said, who wrote this?
Oh, I bet.
They were UNCG students. They were bummed.
She
They were
got-
not stoked.
She was like, okay, we actually have to like think.
Yeah,
and
it was
actually-
definitely kind of a bummer, you know. But like, I had to figure out, like, you know,
And you had to work with
we're,
them.
yeah, like we're in a studio. The band is here. Like, we've got to record the string quartet. They're here this day. This is the day. There's like film people there. Like, it's all ready to go. And like, you hit a wall of like, these people can't play the part or whatever. You know what I mean?
Fuck,
But
yeah.
that shit happens. It's not. I
I
take
mean, it happens
in
with bands.
stride.
Plenty of times they come in and can't nail a part, I'm
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
that stuff doesn't. I mean, I don't understand people who get uptight in the studio. It's not really. I'm not the like throwing candles at people guy. That's not really my
right.
vibe. I don't really. I've never found that that's a good.
Wait,
Chris
that'd
just
be-
yells at you. It's like, Daniel, you missed that part, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Daniel. I've literally. I just don't. I don't understand that. It's not really my like thing. I'm so much more like the. Get distracted and get your mind somewhere else, and then you come back to
Then come back to
you
it.
know,
You won't think.
Yeah.
You won't be thinking about it.
or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
good. That's awesome.
but you know, I think that works for some people, and other people like that's you know, it's just different ways of doing stuff.
Mhm.
Whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
So cool. So like, I guess bringing it back to what you're doing now. So what is, if you can answer this in a simplified way, your recording process with bands? Like, how's it from start to finish? Is it, I'm sure it's different.
Oh
with
yeah, I
probably
mean
every
it's
band.
different, but for the most part, like usually a band contacts me. They're like, "Yo, you know, we want to make a record. We like this record or
Yeah.
whatever." And depending on the like budget and the band and the like where
Okay.
they're coming from or like whatever, it changes. You know, there's some bands like they come in, we set up drums, we track it, we like put the other stuff on top of it. But I do a lot of records that are just straight up live. I do a lot of records where the band comes in,
Just play.
we set everybody up, we put the amps isolation booth, and they just play their songs, you know, and like that's the record, you know.
Oh wow.
And
That's how it
that's like that's my favorite way to work because you hear like the whole record
You
already.
hear everything all at
pretty
once,
much,
yeah.
you know, like, and it's cool because it just depends. There's like just different ways of there's different sounds and ways of getting stuff that people like,
Yeah.
different stuff or whatever, you know.
Okay.
But
Cool.
that's I like working that way because I love records that were done that way. There's so many records I love that's how they were done, you know, like, and classic records and whatever, like we could get hit back on our technology is we don't need all this extra shit.
Yeah.
you know?
Come
like,
in and record.
like, I mean, sometimes you need to be like, you know, like, and I clean stuff up because I work in Pro Tools. I'm not, you know, I have a lot of friends who are like hyper into tape and analog and stuff. And that, like, I have a 24 track and it's cool and I use it sometimes, but I like some of the stuff afforded to me by Pro Tools. I like some of the, you know, like, I can clean up,
Conveniences kind of thing.
yeah, I can clean up noise in the middle. Like a bass has like punchy
Yeah.
part. And I can cut stuff. I like that kind of stuff. And I like a take is 99% good, but I missed a snare hit or something. We can kind of grab us, you know, not just the mic. We can grab like this bar is kind of bad or whatever. We can kind of do that kind of stuff every once in a while if we need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Cool.
A band, I track a lot of bands live. It's kind of the vibe.
That's kind of cool. Like, and obviously, when you mean live, you mean like when you come in here and set up and do it. There's no like guitarist sitting here right beside you doing whatever.
Yeah,
That's,
I mean, I do that too.
Yeah.
But like I do a lot of bands. I would say 75% of the records I do, the band tracks completely live, and then we come in here
And listen to
we
it.
like check it out. And we're like, oh, I kind of fucked that part up, and they punch it in, or you know, we
Oh,
dump
okay.
that, you know, like, or we steal one or whatever, you know.
cool. That obviously that's a part quicker process.
Yeah,
than-
yeah. It has like both processes
Advantages
have
and-
their benefits,
Mhm.
right?
That's
Tracking
dope.
separate means like editing and stuff is easier, you know, like you have more focus on that individual thing, but you end up with more like, oh, the guitar and the bass don't quite feel together, or the drums don't quite. There's something about when a band is really fucking good and they can all play together and that's what they're used to and they play together. There's no real other thing to get that than if they just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just no other way to get that shit.
Okay.
You know, there's no amount of computer edit that gets that. You know, you
Fuck
just
yeah.
don't get that shit.
Makes
Like the
sense.
actual vibe of it or something.
Yeah, you
like
just
that,
don't. I mean, it's just it's not that they're all on the beat. It's that they're all together.
Right.
Yeah,
whatever
they're
that
on their
means.
own beat. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like it's not like because you could edit. You know, with Pro Tools, if you were on a click track, or whatever, you could edit everything to be perfect or whatever. But I used air quotes.
He did.
Perfect.
Just listen very closely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear 'em.
But like that still doesn't feel the same as just when a band just does it, you know. But hey, man, some people are scared of that shit.
I can see why. I mean, I don't know.
I can see why, but
Can get here and suck. This is like,
But that's
okay,
like-
sit down.
Yeah, but I don't know. Suck is relative, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very,
I mean,
very
like,
true.
I don't know. Whatever.
Do
What
you
did I
have-
say? What did I say before we started?
What did I say? Oh, yeah.
I
You
won't
said-
say what I said before we started.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, rewind.
I wasn't going to do one thing, so I'm not doing it right
You
now.
should.
Oh, I
yeah.
remember.
Oh,
You
yes.
remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it
Moving
has to,
on.
It's just, I just am on this kick right now due to current events that I just love. I just back a band being a band.
Being a man. Just doing it. Just being
You know?
it.
Yeah,
I just love
absolutely.
it. I'm like, and it's like, motherfuckers in the industry love to be like, yeah, well, everybody just does this. Everyone fucking fixes everything. Everyone fucking auto-tunes whatever. Everyone did it. No, they don't.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
No.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Obviously, you know.
and like,
because you
some,
record.
I mean, some people do. Like, some people, that's like what they do. There's moments, it's like, managing expectations is what it is. Is like, oh, you thought that everything was going to be, you were expecting everything to sound like fucking Warped Tour, but we actually recorded a real band. Those are where issues
Nice.
arise. Issues never arise when like it's congruent, right? Like then it's like, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's what that band sounds like. It's great.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh yeah, it's perfect because the band they weren't that good.
Yeah.
Or like the band was good, but like if I record some, like there's extreme metal bands and whatever where like the standard is fucking quantized. You know,
Mhm.
that's like kind of what you do. It's kind of part of the thing, and that's fine. That doesn't bother.
That's what they're
me.
going for.
Yeah,
if
that's
anything.
like that's not what bothers me. So yeah, it's just different. I think it's just
Fair. Well, hell yeah.
but yeah.
Damn. Hell yeah. You said that what makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you. That was a very good answer. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the next question.
Yeah.
I went on a little.
I actually want to go to a quick. It's kind of popped up in my head because I'm very curious if you have one at all. But do you have like a favorite record you've done
Ooh, that is tricky.
over your
That is a scary.
years of working? No offense to any other bands, of course.
Yeah, no offense to any band.
Chris
Ooh.
loves every band that's ever recorded
Yes.
here. Just as a
I love
disclaimer.
everything. That's
Everything?
ever happened.
Yeah.
That sounded very mean and sarcastic.
You can't say. You can't
I do genuinely, and I'm stoked about 99% of the things I worked on. I get pretty stoked.
Hell yeah.
I think like most things, it's like people. I mean, there's lots of records that I
Sure.
dig that I like. There's records where like someone said to me, like one of my friends who was talking about Jordan, the drummer of Advent, was talking about another producer friend of his who
course.
said like that there's like three things like we all got distracted because there's a fly.
There's a
and
fly,
Coyote
yeah.
just got really excited about this fly in the room. Sorry.
I don't know if
It's
it
like
was
very
excited or
loud buzz, and then he was
concerned.
like, "What the fuck was that?"
What was this?
No, he said like if it's like good money, good music, or good hangs, if you get two of those things, then it's awesome.
Oh,
And I
fuck
think
yeah.
that's usually true because I think that's like pretty accurate. Because like I mean, some of my like favorite records that I've worked on, it was like part of the reason that it was so fun and it was like the best was just like
hanging out.
yeah, it's just that it's that thing that you don't get almost anywhere else where you're like with creative people and you're working together on a thing and you're all stoked and like everything's coming together. Like the pieces as you're putting them together are just working, And
Yeah.
like, if something doesn't work, it's like, oh, well, that's not quite right. Like, how do we, okay, we do this. And it doesn't feel like drudgery.
Mhm.
There's some like records where you just feel like at every turn, you can't get shit right.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And there's ones that go super smooth or they not only go smooth, but they just like go well, I guess you could say. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you hit roadblocks, but like you end up being like, that was totally worth it or whatever. I don't
That
know.
was always worth it, of course.
Man, I got to think because I want to name names.
You can't say
I
more.
did this record. I've done so many. Oh, there's so many good ones.
He's getting ready to say Morning Cloak.
Dude, yeah, my favorite record probably my own band that
Shout
I
out
joined
Morning Cloak.
after we were doing the record. I was like, I should just be on this record. And they were like, I guess you should just join the band.
No, I was joking.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many good ones.
Yeah, you probably-
This new Centuries record, I just got the fucking masters back
Master.
today, so I'm like,
I'm
love
stoked
this
for
record.
that, and it sounds awesome.
it sounds cool. I'm really happy. There's like a band where they're like just doing some. They're like,
cool shit.
yeah, it's funny because they were like, we want to do this shit so that we want to do this record that sound like this, so like by the next record, if we sound like fucking Mastodon, no one will think it's weird, And I was like, fuck the transition. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
That's the thing I love. I love when I work on records which it doesn't happen near as often as I wish, but that it's like you do the record for the band that people expect, and then they just go like, what the fuck is this?
Like, why? What?
I love that.
That's fair. Hell yeah. I think
I always want to do that.
it's cool to be thrown in that loop. It's like, well, okay, like,
Yeah.
I guess. And then you keep listening to it, like, okay, this fucking rules.
I just always want to be the person who does the record that everyone goes like, what? And they like
Yeah,
what the
cock
hell
their
is
head and
this?
they're like, what is this one?
The fuck.
But they're like, this is sick. This is not what I expected this
not
to be.
Centuries, but
Yeah.
it is Centuries.
Yeah, I mean the new shit definitely sounds like them still, but
Yeah.
I always love that. Like that thing just throw everybody for a loop for a second, you know?
I don't think it's a bad thing. Crap, people get pissed, but like,
I mean, if anything, you're probably catching somebody's attention.
exactly.
I mean also like that shit, it's boring.
Yeah, doing the same shit
Yeah,
over,
just something
same
different.
sounds. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, because how many times have we all said like, oh, this band, you listen to a new record, like, yeah, it's cool. It sounds like a new
Sounds
so and so record, and you're like,
just
that's
like the-
cool.
Sounds
Sometimes
just
that's
like
awesome.
a blah 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 band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes that's awesome, you know. But then sometimes you're like, yo, it's crazy. It's like they did this, they
It's
did this.
super
it's
different
awesome,
in a
you know?
good way. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. That's like,
Hell yeah.
I don't know. That's what I want everybody
That's
to do.
good. Fuck
Push.
yeah.
Do the other thing that's weird and, you know.
Yeah.
I'm right. Well, cool. That actually leads me to my last and final, which is what I always do. I love hearing what different people say about
Mint
this
chocolate
question.
chip.
Favorite ice cream. No. But yeah, your advice for up and comings, your advice for people who are thinking about recording,
Uh-oh.
your advice for
You have like amateur studios or something. that are listening to this,
advice
what
for
would you say?
everyone.
Just do not give up. I hate it's pretty cheese, but it's like
It's the truth.
everyone who you love thought about giving up to and didn't. That is so true.
Yes,
that
it
is
is.
some shit. Everyone you talk to, no bullshit. People will lie to you. Everyone has that shit.
Yep.
Everyone has that, like, I'm never doing this again. moment.
Yeah.
I'm never doing this again.
Yes. Very
We've
true.
all had it. You've had that shit,
Oh
right?
God. More
It's
than
like, yeah.
yes.
You're like, I'm never doing, like, I suck.
Yeah.
I say
Seriously.
that every day.
Yeah. So you get up and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, dude.
That's
I'm
that's
terrible.
that's that concept, that weird like that's what's it called, oh, I hate that I can't remember what this is called. It's that like I don't know, imposter syndrome or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That everyone thinks that you're gonna get found out that you're a fake. Everyone feels that way.
That's true. That's very true.
Just keep doing it.
No matter what people
Because
say.
even if it's bad forever, and you never quite get to like
where you like
your pinnacle of the thing you really like are happy with, like at least you did something.
at least you
Yeah.
tried.
At least you finished it. You know, at least you like did a thing and like you did it.
You
You,
stuck
know,
through it.
Hopefully, you're having fun and enjoying it while
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah.
just do your thing. Like, don't think too much about that shit.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Don't think too much about like getting there.
Yeah. I think people
Yeah.
always get caught up in like, you know, am I doing this right, or I don't sound like them, or like my recordings don't sound as good as that guy's, and it's just
Yeah.
like, who gives a shit? You're
Yeah.
doing it.
Oh man, figure out how to do
Yeah.
that.
You're gonna figure
Yeah.
out. Figure
and
it
like,
out.
And I think, I mean, this is pretty like, I think this is probably like beaten to death too, but it's that thing of like, then find your thing too. And I don't think that I'm even like, oh, I do this. I don't think that at all. I find myself a lot like being like, oh, I'm working with this band. Like, who does records in that genre that people really like? And like
Right.
trying to, oh shit, you know, like they're a good representation of this thing or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, just find the thing that you really like that you do and you have fun doing and is like you dig and whatever, and just do that.
Fuck
And
yeah.
don't and be unabashed. Own that shit.
Yeah. If it's
That's
yours,
like
you
my-
put it
that's
out.
my-
Like
That's my like current artistic stick in the mud about. I'm like, fucking do your thing and that's what you do and it's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
And stop feeling bad that you're not so and so. You know,
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
positivity in that shit.
Positivity.
Positivity is a
dude.
good thing. You know.
Fuck yeah, it's a great thing. It's like, and that's very well said, because we hear, say it's very, I guess you can call it cheesy, cliche if you want, but like there's a reason why it's oversaid, because it's the truth.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's easy to be. I mean, I'm like a grouchy motherfucker, and it's like easy to be negative and whatever. But
yeah,
I get really stoked, like no matter what. Like
yeah, that you
when a
completed
band
something
comes
like that.
in and they're like, "This is our shit. This is our fucking songs," and like they record them and they like, this is what they like are stoked. And obviously, all artists, like we were saying, everyone has insecurity. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like this is what I want. You know, like these are our songs. Like this is our shit.
Yeah,
you know?
we did this. We wrote. This,
I like-
is,
Yeah, it's like my kick right now. I'm on. Just
Fuck
like
yeah.
being stoked, you know.
Hell yeah.
being stoked.
Just being like, that's your shit. That's your fucking band.
You
know?
came and like, this is what
We
y'all-
made this record. Like we were here for these 4 days at this point in time, and this is what happened.
Making
That's
history.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, like because that's really all it is at the end anyway. So it's kind of rad.
Dude,
You
fuck yeah. Thank you,
Cody,
Chris.
what do you think? What's your
Yeah, come on.
What's your
You got any-
contribution to this
Sleepy.
podcast?
you got any advice for the youngins?
It's like, shut up, Dad.
He's
Sleep
like-
more, record less.
Yeah.
Play
He's
with
like,
me.
feed me.
Feed me.
Give me a bit of your human food. Give me some of that.
But cool, dude.
Or throw it in the trash and I'll get it out.
But hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for
this
having
is
us.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a
And
blast.
we're here at Legit Biz, like I said.
Yeah.
How can we contact you?
All the social media shit, LGTBIZ, legitimate business, Google, Kris Hilbert, whatever. It'll find me
You will-
somehow. It's all me.
All you. We'll put it
Hit up
all.
Legit Biz, it's me.
It's gonna be all Chris. Definitely book him. And I don't know.
Come make a record so Daniel can come take
I'm about to
pictures.
say, I'll probably
Yeah.
be there.
Daniel makes
Take
it look like, when Daniel comes takes pictures, it makes it look like we're doing really important shit.
I try, but no, I probably will. Yeah, I'll probably actually will be at some of those because Chris is
dude.
awesome. Lets me take some photos here and
It's awesome. I love it.
experiment
Yeah, man.
my
It's
own
fun.
shit. So like,
Make us
it's
all
awesome.
look like super badass and like we really know what we're doing.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you know? He comes in, he's like, you look at his picture like, damn, dude, we were killing it.
It's like, dude,
Really, we were all just farting. and,
I'm
like,
farting and playing around with your different
Taking around.
whatever things. Shout out Advent. That was such a great session. That was, dude, we're being here for that. Was
Wow,
amazing.
way
That
to
was
call him
fun.
out, man.
Oh yeah,
That was a fun. That was a fun.
that was a
session.
fun whatever.
Good crew of like people, you know.
Yeah, I love you, Jordan.
Yeah. Shout out to Advent. Shout out to Joe's new kids.
Yo, yes, I'm gonna make sure
Adorable.
Joe listens to this too.
Adorable.
Shout out to the homies, the little homies. Congratulations.
Joe and Emily, congrats.
Yes, cool. Well,
Tiny new life.
yeah,
They're
Well, yeah.
so great.
that was podcast 10. Like we
Podcast
made it to
10.
number 10. So thank you,
Yeah.
Chris. We wanted
Yeah,
someone
thanks.
that was gonna be like, you know, of some stature for us.
It's
and
because I listen to podcasts all the time. That's what it is.
yes, it's very
Yeah.
true.
We've talked about this.
You
We
just know how
have.
to feed into it.
I just want you guys to let me guest host all the time. Just come in and just be there.
Dude, that would be cool to pop in like from
Some-
random questions.
Some
Like,
color
hey,
commentary.
Chris here. So what's your favorite ice cream?
Yeah. Favorite ice cream. If you don't say mint chocolate chip, fuck you.
Well, cool. Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was it.
Thanks, guys. That was
Thank
fun.
you.
Now we're gonna go eat pizza.
Yes.
Is it
Is
free?
it free?
Great joke. You guys clowned yourselves.
Yeah, it did. All right, we're out.
Thanks, y'all. Later.